Trigger warning, how fun. Written and directed by the same dude that wrote and directed Ex Machina, one of the first A24 movies that I recall ever seeing any advertisement for back in 2014. It's been a while now. After watching Ex Machina, it was a great artificial intelligence, dark romance story where we see a secluded loner going out of his element to meet something and someone that he never thought he would ever fall in love with, and seeing the two in some ways manipulate each other in a way is somewhat profound, realistic, and just bold. But after seeing this one, all I gotta say is, Alex, are you alright, man? Did someone hurt you? Did someone break your heart and you just haven't recovered from it yet and you're expressing it through feature films? Men. Am I in the minority here reviewing this movie? I don't know. I haven't seen what other reviewers are like on the internet. Are they also men? A woman that just got out of a traumatic experience with her ex-husband decides to go on a solo retreat to escape reality. Upon arriving at a cottage inn alongside the secluded countryside, she starts to encounter strange, creepy male company that slowly begins to impose and overstay their welcome. Based on the title alone, I'm sure you can figure out what these men end up putting this main character through. Holy shit. I haven't been this disturbed in a movie theater in quite a while. Legit, halfway through the movie, I was telling myself, whoa, what is this feeling in my gut? Is this what being disturbed feels like? Is this what an unsettling sense is like? It's been a minute. This movie's presentation just stabs you right in the gut and just gives you that drop feeling in your stomach, as if you are watching something and witnessing something that you are not supposed to see, and you would just want to just get out of there. And that is an absolute compliment. Just stabs you, and already you think that'd be enough, but no, the movie goes right ahead and just twists that knife slowly to the point where you're just feeling just absolutely sick to your stomach, just to how disturbing what you were seeing on screen is. From the unsettling scenarios to the gripping performances, this is intense. Considering that it advertised itself as a horror movie per se, this movie does not have a single jump scare. Isn't that great? This movie didn't need it, and I am so happy that the filmmakers decided to just go the mature route and have everything presented to us as if we, the audience, have seen so many other cheap horror movies and are so tired of at this point. It made for a story with themes that were so mature and so real, to the point where that in itself was already terrifying. Each one of these male characters manages to display a different form of abuse that happens around the world on a consistent basis to so many people. I won't get into too much detail as to what it was that was displayed here in the movie. I, of course, would encourage you to go check it out yourself. This movie's themes really reminded me that not all forms of abuse are physical. Emotional and psychological abuse are just as rampant and are just as severe and can cause just as long-term effects as physical assault ever will. It can really mess people up for a very long time or even for life. So I'm really happy that this movie really brings awareness to that. Also, the amount of symbolism in the movie is nothing short of impressive. Within every scene, there was at least one hidden or blatant form of symbolism when it came to a character, an object, a literal symbol that's on screen. It certainly adds depth and layers and rewatchability for those who want to watch it again to really catch on to all the symbols that you missed the first time. The ones that really stuck to me were ones that were just ripped straight out of the Bible, one involving an apple tree and an Adam and Eve reference, you can say. So much more bizarre and ambiguous imagery here, especially for scene transitions. Around the halfway point, it can certainly get very jarring and it can get very confusing if you're not on track and are trying to process what you just saw on screen. I think this element of the movie is a double-edged sword for sure, good and bad. The good aspects are that with an ambiguous project like this, it can have different audience members have different interpretations of it. Any form of art, paintings, music, etc. Some of the most impactful forms of art are ones that can be interpreted different and can have different meanings to different people. Such a beautiful thing that I love in art. And these ambiguous moments were certainly very creepy as well. I would say it's bad because for audience members that don't immediately get it, they're going to end up being way more confused than I think anybody would like to when it comes to watching any movie. And by the end, you're just going to end up missing important beats, and important moments are just going to fly over your head and you're just not going to get them. It certainly feels like a hit or miss. You're either going to love it or hate it. For me, it was a mixed bag for sure. As for the soundtrack, the performances and camera work already made for a creepy slow burn of a movie, but the prolonged strings and prolonged vocal choir performances really amplified the set pieces and made them stick out even more. There are even moments where the talent's line deliveries or even their screams or other forms of automatopoeias, whatever you want to call them, match the crescendos of the tracks that were playing on screen. I've never heard anything like that before. It was very disturbing for sure. As for the remaining element that really sold me in the end, the movie takes its time with its scenes, especially with its scares. It doesn't silence the theater to then just deafen your ears with a loud jump scare or just a loud screeching noise with nothing there. It instead plays on your anticipation of what you come to expect in horror movies now. That scare comes in a more slow, prolonged in a way where you see it coming, but it still gets you and creeps up your spine. Kind of hard to explain, but basically you're sort of able to already know and tell when something is coming. That anticipation and that time of waiting is so impactful and it's so chilling that when it eventually happens, it feels fulfilling in a very strange way. Long takes of the talent's blocking and performances make for a very anxiety-inducing experience. By the end, the central story of a woman experiencing grief, constantly being bombarded and surrounded by an environment that only amplifies that grief, makes for a story and a concept that is so much more scary, real to me, than any CGI monster or supernatural entity will ever do. Psychological horrors just hit me different. Not too sure about the sanity of the writer and director at this point though, so Alex, therapist man. 7 out of 10, disturbed me to the very core while also confusing me a little with the abundant amount of symbolism. Is he still there?